Red Hollow, Tennessee. Population 3,912. A quiet town tucked between pine forests and winding rivers. A place where everybody knew everybody, and where nothing truly bad ever happened. Until the summer the killings began. They started small, strange disappearances along Old Briar Road. A hiker here. A trucker there. People whispered about wolves, bears, wandering vagrants. No one wanted to believe the truth. But darkness had already arrived. On June 3rd, sheriff deputies found the body of 19-year-old Lily Carson behind the abandoned Miller sawmill. She was staged, arms folded, eyes open, a single red feather placed on her chest. No one in Red Hollow knew what the feather meant. But the killer did. The coroner ruled the cause of death: strangulation. No fingerprints. No footprints. Nothing but a symbol. Sheriff Ben Harrow stood over the scene, jaw clenched. "We're dealing with someone who plans," he whispered. "Someone who enjoys this." The town didn't know it yet, but Lily was only the beginning. 8 days later, a second victim, Jeffrey Coates, a 42-year-old mechanic, was found hanging from a pine tree near the river. Another red feather tucked into his shirt pocket. But this time, there was a message carved into the tree. "I watch while you sleep." Panic spread. Parents kept their children inside. Businesses closed early. Everyone locked their doors at sunset. And the town finally accepted the truth. Red Hollow had a serial killer. Sheriff Harrow created a task force with Deputy Riley Knox, a sharp young officer from Nashville. Together they noticed something. The victims weren't random. They were connected by the same driver's education instructor, a quiet, timid man named Oliver Grange. But Grange had an alibi. And another victim appeared that same night, proving the killer was still loose. The sheriff's theory collapsed. The fear grew. On July 1st, a miracle, a survivor. Emily Sutter, age 27, stumbled onto Highway 12 at 3:14 a.m., bleeding and shaking. She had escaped from the killer's cabin deep inside the woods. Her voice trembling, she told officers. "He wears a mask, made of feathers, red feathers. He whispers while he hurts you." She described a deep, scratchy voice. A limp. A scar on his left forearm. The town now had something it never had before. A face, even if only a silhouette. Emily mentioned another detail that chilled investigators. "He knows this town. Every road. Every family. He was one of them. Hidden in plain sight." Suspicion tore Red Hollow apart. Neighbors accused neighbors. Strangers were chased out. Old grudges resurfaced. The sheriff held community meetings, urging calm. But it didn't matter. The killer thrived on the chaos. And he was already planning his next move. By July 18th, 4 more victims appeared, each with the same red feather. Sheriff Harrow finally pieced together the feather's origin. Rare red-crested Tryon feathers, found only in a narrow stretch of forest behind Granger's farm. But Granger was old, frail, and terrified of the woods. Still, the farm was close enough that the killer could slip through unnoticed. And he did. Deputy Riley Knox revisited the survivor's testimony and found a detail everyone missed. Emily mentioned smelling diesel fuel and hearing metal clanging at the killer's cabin. The only place combining both? The old county maintenance yard. Abandoned for 2 years, but recently showing signs of activity. The task force rushed there. They found chains, tools, fresh footprints. But the killer was already gone. He left something behind. Another red feather. And a note. "You're close." On August 2nd, the killer made his boldest move. Sheriff Harrow's 14-year-old daughter, Sophie, vanished on her way home from school. A feather lay on her backpack. This wasn't a random victim. This was a message. The sheriff, breaking down, whispered, "He's hunting me." The entire state mobilized. Tactical units swept the forests. Helicopters scanned the riverbanks. And on the 4th day, they found a trail, small footprints leading into the deepest part of Red Hollow Forest. Sophie was alive. Barely. But the killer was waiting. Inside a weather-beaten shack, the killer watched the sheriff approach. The man removed his feathered mask. And Sheriff Harrow finally saw him. Evan Rourke. A former park ranger. A man everyone trusted. A man whose cabin burned years ago in a forest fire. A man presumed dead. Rourke smiled. "You forgot me, Sheriff. But I never forgot you." Rourke blamed Harrow for ignoring his mental unraveling years earlier. He believed the town abandoned him. So he became its nightmare. A struggle erupted. Deputy Knox crashed through the back window. Sophie escaped into the sheriff's arms. And Rourke fled into the forest, bleeding, limping, desperate. The chase lasted hours. Near dawn, with fog coating the trees, Rourke hid near a ravine. But the sheriff tracked him by the trail of red feathers spilling from his torn coat. Rourke turned, knife in hand, whispering. This town deserved fear. A single shot rang out. Rourke collapsed. He survived, arrested, and later sentenced to 9 consecutive life sentences. Red Hollow breathed again. But scars remained. The town healed slowly. Sophie recovered. Emily Sutter, the brave survivor, became an advocate for victims of violent crime. The sheriff retired 2 years later, still haunted by the red feathers he sometimes dreamed about. And the old shack where Rourke once watched his victims? It rotted away. One feather still lying on the floor. A reminder of the summer Red Hollow lost its innocence. For more chilling true crime content, subscribe to this channel.